Lehrhaus Judaica, in partnership with the Osher Marin JCC, presented a half-day conference in March 2013 entitled Free-Ranging Communities, Jewish Life in Marin and Hollywood. Part of the day focused on the diversity that makes Marin County, California special to 7 different voices from our community. In this segment, you'll meet Natalia Straus, who has a Christian mother, a Muslim father, a Jewish husband, and a life in Marin's Jewish community.
Good afternoon. My name's Natalia Straus. I'm the Director of Individual Gifts here at the JCC, but I'm not going to talk about my work, although my journey to Judaism, I guess, definitely began here. In preparing for this talk, I've been thinking about the words we use to define ourselves. Some are based on the roles we play, whether it's, in my case, mother, wife, sister, niece, aunt. Some are based on our values. I'm vegetarian, environmentally conscious, and some are based on where we grew up, the East Coast, or where we live now, Fairfax. And of course, others are based either on our culture or religion. Having moved from the DC area to the Bay Area almost 5 years ago, I find it interesting that the question I often receive here when meeting someone for the first time is, where do you live? Versus the typical East Coast question of where do you work? Then based on my response, Fairfax, a certain set of assumptions come up to the listener's mind about who I am that might be different had I said Mill Valley, for example, or Oakland. As part of our way of understanding one another, we put people in boxes. I was raised in Alexandria, Virginia by my British mother and my Afghan father, and I love being mixed. I love that I could not be put in a box. Sometimes people will ask me, what are you? And depending on what mood I'm in, I'll often just say, I'm Natalia. We form our identity from the experiences we have growing up, from where our families are from, as well as the decisions we make that feed our soul. When my husband and I first started dating a little over 4 years ago, he shared with me that he was Jewish. I was interested in learning more about his faith and his relationship with God and assumed we would be going to services together soon. I soon learned that he very much identified himself as being Jewish, having been bar mitzvahed, but that had very little to do with the religion. He actually wasn't sure he even believed in God. This took me a while to understand, especially as we got more serious and discussed what religion we would raise our children. He was very firm in his desire to raise our children Jewish. I was open to it, but was apprehensive at first. I was raised Christian. My mom is Methodist and invited me to join her at church when I was about 8 years old. I attended until our youth group leader made sure I knew the important work I had to do, convert my Muslim father unless I wanted him to go to hell. I was so confused and really didn't understand how one religion could say theirs was better than another's. If we were all created by God and worshiping him in the traditions of our religion, then why would my father go to hell? How could he have been born in Kabul, Afghanistan, a Muslim country, and decide he would be Christian? It didn't make sense to me, nor did any of the responses I received to these questions. I was basically told to have faith in God and encouraged to pray for my father. It was at that time that I left the church. I was about 14 years old and have not really sought out organized religion since. I've always considered myself more of a spiritual person with a personal relationship to God, but I pray personally, but it was not, I didn't seek out organized religion pretty much from that point on. Fast forward to about 2 years ago when I started working here at the JCC. I remember the first donor event I attended was in February 2011, and I was sitting next to Toby Rubin, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. I don't think she's here, but she's a donor to the JCC and was someone I was meeting for the first time. By the end of the event, she asked if my husband and I would like to join her family for their Seder the following month. I was so moved by how welcoming Toby was to me and my family. This year will be the 3rd year that we are celebrating Passover with Toby's family. She opened up her heart and home, not knowing me really other than an employee of the JCC. She and Mark, her husband, set us alongside their children and grandchildren. It's really remarkable. Prior to this, my husband had not celebrated Passover since he was a kid. This experience is one of many amazing, heartwarming feelings I have had since being a part of this community. I am not Jewish, though I have taken an Intro to Judaism class. I've learned how to make challah. I took a Passover class with Dawn and celebrate Shabbat every Friday now with my family, keeping all electronics off at least for Friday night. I'm not Jewish, but I'm so appreciative of the values and beautiful traditions and songs my son learned while attending preschool and camp here at the JCC. I'm not Jewish, but I'm raising my children Jewish with my husband and may one day convert. In my limited time exploring Judaism, I have always felt welcomed, encouraged to ask questions, invited to participate in celebrations. In fact, it's almost the exact opposite experience that I had with Christianity before. This strong sense of community and connectedness with family and one another is beautiful. In a strange way, through my son and me, neither of us Jewish, my husband is getting reconnected to his Jewish roots, with me leading. In raising a family, having community and a shared value system provides security and comfort to the children and support to the parents. I'm so grateful to have found that here. My dad is more culturally Muslim and is very supportive of my husband Adam and me. He sees how kind Adam's family is, how close they are, and attributes that to his Jewish upbringing. My mom is not as receptive. She doesn't know I'm talking now. She continues to give us Christmas ornaments for a tree we don't put up and an Advent calendar counting down to a holiday we don't celebrate. She thinks we don't have the full story and sometimes tries to discuss it over the phone with me. It is strange that I can't, nor do I want to debate with my mom about the religion. I truthfully do not know enough. I can only say that everything I've experienced and learned so far about Judaism feeds my soul, and I hope it will for my children as well. Thank you.